Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today we're going to be talking about a huge break in a case that dates back to October of 2022. It's a very sad case because it's about a missing 6-year-old boy, and sadly, his remains have been found. Now, that's also a good thing so the case can progress and so his mother could be charged. We're going to go over the complete timeline, what's happened over the years, what happened now, where are we at, where's his freaking mother, and all of that. Please like and share so others can also learn about this case with us as we continue to follow it from this moment on, right? Thank you so much. You guys are all saying happy Monday. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being at the premiere yesterday. If you didn't see it, I interviewed David Scott from the series Interview with the Killer, which is presented by Court TV. It's in the video section if you do want to check it out. So thank you for being there as well. All right. Let me start with, of course, I'm always like, where shall I start? Presentation, obviously. Okay. I don't know if blue was Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez's favorite color, but in the little picture, shame, he wears a lot of blue, and the playground that was named after him in his honor, they have all these colors. So I'm wearing this for him today. Okay. Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez was born prematurely on February 2nd of 2017 in Everman, Texas. So we're still in Texas. We've been in Texas for a while, you guys. Okay. His mother, monster, allegedly. Mother is Cindy Rodriguez-Singh, and his biological father is Mariano Alvarez Contreras. Now, his father has not ever been in his life. He apparently got deported to Mexico before Noel was even born. Okay? His stepfather is Arshdeep Singh. He had multiple developmental and physical disabilities, including speech and behavioral delays, esotropia, crossed eyes, a limp, visual impairment, and chronic lung disease that required ongoing medical care. So he needed oxygen and all of that. He needed a lot of TLC, and he absolutely deserved it. But the mother that he had was not that type. Oh, man. His mother had 10 children. That's a lot of kids, hey? Ooh, that's a lot of kids, especially when she had no money. She had 10 children, and the three oldest, from what I'm understanding, she gave to her own mother. I believe her mother also lives in the Texas area. So the 3 of her eldest children are living with her mother, which means that there were 7 living with her. And one of them has been found deceased. The others are okay. And so she's been charged with the capital murder of this one son, Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez. So he was last seen in October of 2022. Now, we don't have time to, well, I suppose we do have time, but let's not watch all the press conferences that happened over the years. But there were multiple press conferences that happened since October 2022, mostly actually since March of 2023, when the case really kicked off, because of an anonymous tip. But if you watch all of those, shame, man, there's so much that went into this investigation. I didn't know about this case until just a few days ago when you guys all started sending me this. Thank you, everyone, for emailing. Many Grizzlies emailed me this case asking me to cover it. So here we are. And just watching the press conferences, the dedication of the investigators, everybody's searching for this little boy. And then at some point them saying, we do not believe he's alive. That was so sad, And now to get here in May of 2026 and they have found his remains, it's, wow, their investigation has really been incredible. So we'll get to that. In 2020, Cindy, the mother, was sentenced to, this is a picture of her, by the way, to a 10-year probation following conviction for a repeat offense of driving while intoxicated. She crashed her car. Apparently it wrapped around a tree. She crashed it hard into a tree or into a pole. some say pole, some say tree, while driving with 2 of her children. She was super drunk driving with her children in the vehicle. Remember, at that time, she may have only had 2 or 5 children. I don't know how many. I don't know at that time. However many. 2 were in the car with her. So CPS was involved multiple times, also because of her behavior. And then between 2020 and December of 2021, 3 of her children were placed in foster care. Okay. Patricia Paris was Noel's foster mom for about a year. She was an experienced foster mom who specialized in children with special needs. Noel formed a very close bond with her. He and his siblings were, unfortunately, returned to Cindy's custody in late 2021. Patricia continued occasional contact like FaceTime and visits, and that was until the fall of 2022 when Cindy stopped responding. Huge red flag, right? In October of 2022, Cindy gave birth to twins, and Noel was spotted at the hospital, after she gave birth to the twins, and was described, like in hindsight, as looking very unhealthy and malnourished. Shame. Now, Jen McCutcheon said, my favorite true crime channel. Thank you so much. Thanks for being a member for 33 months. Okay, let me quickly show you a clip. Oh, shame, man. This Patricia lady is such a nice lady. Okay, let me put the sound on for you.
Patricia Paris fostered Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez.
Wherever I went, he was like my shadow.
And in 1 year, they formed a special bond.
That was my buddy, my cool dude.
Noel, look at the camera. Noel.
And they shared memories she can't forget.
You want a burger? Yep.
Yep. I would say, Sweet Pea. He would say, Mommy. I would say, no, Noel, I'm not your mom. I'm Sweet Pea. He'd say, no, you're Mommy.
And that's why, when Everman police announced the boy, who hasn't been seen since November, is believed to be deceased,
And I still couldn't believe it.
can't believe the boy she watched overcome so much despite his disabilities is gone.
What's that been like every day for you?
It's been very stressful. Every time I pass by a wooded area or a bunch of trees, side of the road, I say, is he over here? He needs to be found so he can be laid to rest.
Paris says Noel's mother, Cindy Rodriguez-Singh, had a support system.
She could have given us to us. We asked for him.
The idea that he's gone is starting to set in for the Paris family.
He gonna be okay. Be okay.
And together, they're trying to hold each other up.
We showed him love while we had him, right?
Paris finds some peace,
You want a burger? Yep.
knowing that in the year Noel was with her family, he was loved. Noel's foster siblings miss his laugh and his hugs. In Everman,
Shame. And again, as you heard, Patricia would have gladly taken Noel. And Cindy was like, no. Why did they do that? I know the answer is usually financial benefits, but like, what the hell, Cindy? Oh, that makes me so mad when people are around the abuser and they do want to help, right? So 10 years prior, okay, moving on with the story, Cindy and her kids, I don't know how many she had at the time, lived in her van for a time. She met Charles Parson, who was 71 years old at the time, in a grocery store and befriended him. Apparently, she then would park her her vehicle outside of his house, like she lived in the driveway initially. All right. So maybe she said, befriended him and asked if she could park her van there. So she lived in the car with the kids at first. Charles then took pity on them and invited Cindy and her kids to stay in his house using 2 spare bedrooms. The back door of his home was kept unlocked so they could freely use the bathroom and shower inside. As the family grew, after Cindy then got married to Rodriguez-Singh, Rodriguez bought a large shed. Charles allowed them to place it in his backyard and convert it into a living space. No, he never charged any rent. In exchange, the family handled groceries and Cindy helped care for the elderly parson. He described himself as a godfather-like figure to the children and said the parents spoiled them. We'll look at one of his interviews later. Deb said, my heart is broken. Shame, such a sweet boy. Thank you, Deb, for your sticker and for your sweet messages earlier. I don't know if you saw my reply, but I really appreciate it. So Debbie said, I live 4 hours from this. So sad, right? Man. Jenny Lynn, thank you for your sticker, Debbie. Jenny Lynn said, breaks my heart thinking about what these children endured. So to me, it sounds like this Charles Parsons guy was very sweet. He kind of like gave Cindy a finger and she took the whole arm, is what it sounds like to me. But I've seen some online reporting that people are a little, I don't know, they red flag him a bit. Like, did he see nothing? Did he not see any abuse of Noel specifically? He claims that they just, Cindy and her husband and all the kids were going to get to that, just up and left, and he had no idea, and that she was supposed to pick him up at the hospital, and he just had no clue of their plans, which could be true. It could be true. I personally don't red flag him at this point. I think he was just kind and taken advantage of, really. And I think it became a completely uncontrollable situation because she just kept making more kids, you know what I mean? Gina Bucci said, what grows in the dark comes to light always. And it's so incredible because this case, it's like all the odds were stacked against the investigators. You'll see why in a moment. Thank you so much for being a member. So shame, poor Charles, man. You know? Now they all just fled. So Equestrian said, just love your bullet points and your snark. This is my favorite channel and favorite chat. Love my fellow Grizzly. Thank you so much. I love bullet points. I love bullet points, you know, just get the whole story factually and chronologically. I do like that. Thank you so much for also being here. All right, so the shed. So remember, Charles said to Cindy, you can stay in my driveway. Oh, shame. You could live in my house. And then we'll put a shed in the back. And then there was another shed put in when when she got married to this other guy, which must have been so confusing for Charles too. Like, you're going to bring a man into this? You're going to make more children? You're going to, what is happening? Wow. So the shed had electricity and air conditioning, but no bathroom. They used Parsons' house for that. It housed 7 children, including Noel, and Cindy and Archdeep. After the family fled in March of 2023, which we'll get to, police searches showed the interior was cluttered and messy. There were scattered clothes, dishes, old food, though this was post-flight. Some reports described overall living conditions as poor or squalid, with allegations of neglect tied to Noel's malnourished appearance in his final sighting. Apparently, Cindy didn't want to give Noel water. She told people, don't give him water, don't feed him, because she was tired of cleaning his dirty diapers. Remember, he was special needs, right? Thank you, Summer Girl Mama. You said, love your channel. Always right on with all your stuff. Thank you so much. I love it when you guys send me cases to deep dive, you know? And thank you so much to Grizzly Cat for also sending me all sorts of things to assist my research. We're going to go over a document as well. Now, this is just a snippet from an article which says, in a news conference Thursday, so it was at the time, police say they've since learned that Noel, who has developmental and physical challenges, was last seen by a professional for an appointment in July. So that means he was last seen by a doctor in July of 2022. Police say he then started missing key appointments, prompting the state to warn his mother that she might lose out on government benefits. And there you hear the ka-ching and her motive. You know what I mean? For having all these children, not wanting anyone else to take them, to take care of them, to love them, even a special needs foster mom. No, thank you. I want my kids because I want all these benefits. That's horrible. Spencer said Noel was being used by his mother, Cindy Rodriguez, to receive government benefits. Investigators said that Noel had missed several doctor's appointments and that the government sent a letter threatening to end the benefits. Rodriguez-Singh allegedly asked another mother to borrow a child? What? She's like, could I borrow your kid to pose as Noel at the doctor's so I can continue to get those benefits? Now, whether that happened or not, I don't know. I really freaking hope not. If anyone asks, could I borrow your kid for a day? No, the answer is no. I don't think so. Because you never know what they're up to, right? Okay, November 1st of 2022. Remember, when was Noel 6 years old last seen? In October, at a hospital after his mother had given birth to twins. And he was in a terrible condition, malnourished, looking unhealthy, right? So, November 1st of 2022. Uncle Google's gonna get you, and so is passport control and everything else. Cindy has 6 of her children. Remember, she had 7 at the time, 3 living with her mother, 6 of her children, take passport photos. But guess what? Noel's not included. November 2nd of 2022, Cindy applies for passports for her family. Noel's not included. So that starts tightening up the timeline, right? November 6th of 2022, Cindy researches, that's where Uncle Google's going to get her, the cost of a trip to India. Darlene Dowie, thank you so much for your $5 sticker. I really appreciate it. Something Calabi said, who asked to borrow a child? This one. So many child abuse cases as well. Didn't Lori Vella do something like that? I don't know. I feel like there's cases we've covered, right, where they did that. Tina says, Grizzly, you sure you didn't cover this? I've never covered this case. I've never covered it. I don't think so. Or remind me if I did, right? Someone says, please turn on CC. It is on. Turn it on your side. Click the CC. Click it on. Okay, so she Uncle Googled, and at this time, nobody knew. Okay, nobody knew what was going on. Remember, the foster mom was like, she's stopping responding now around the fall of 2022. What's going on? Where's Noel? So, the thoughts starting to brew of like, I wonder where Noel is. And then in the meantime, without anyone knowing at the time, she is having passport photos taken, applying for passports for her and Artie and all the kids except Noel. And then she's searching, how much does a trip to India cost? Okay. March 20th of 2023, CPS receives an anonymous tip about Noel's absence and abuse concerns. Welfare check was conducted, and I do wonder, I ask myself, even though it's anonymous, I just can't help, I'm curious, I know we're all curious, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I wonder if that was Patricia, the foster mom, or Cindy's own mother, who became incredibly concerned about where's Noel, like what is going on, right? March 20th to 21st of 2023, Cindy claimed that Noel was in Mexico. The police then went, because of the CPS anonymous tip, right? The police go and they do a welfare check. And they ask Cindy, where's Noel? And she's like, oh, he's in Mexico with his biological father. Okay? They track down the biological father and he's like, what? I was deported before Noel was even born. I haven't even met my son. So no, he's not with me. And so police then confirm as well that there's no evidence that Noel left the US either. Huge red flag. Massive. Goes up, right? March 22nd of 2023, Rodriguez-Singh, which I apologize if somebody else has that name or if it's like I just like to snark, at people who do wrong, okay? But Arshdeep, wow. That's quite a name. Like ass deep, like Arshdeep, damn. Okay, sorry about that. Rodriguez-Singh told, he stole. Oh my word, this guy, the stepdad, what does he do? So we know from November, Cindy's like, passport photos, apply for passports. And then they wait. I think between the two of them, I'm speculating, they were waiting to see, I wonder if anyone's going to notice. If the police arrive at our door, we leave the next day. I think that's what they told each other, because that's pretty much what happened. So he then stole $10,000 from his employer. Cindy, Arshdeep, and 6 younger siblings then literally flew from the Dallas-Fort Worth airport to Istanbul, Turkey, and then to India. Noel was not with them. Arshdeep is from India. Look, here's surveillance and everything. These jackasses took themselves and 6 kids to the airport and fled. That is what I mean. Oh my word, investigators had so much to work on, right? The obstacles they had to work with here and overcome. Wow, the odds were stacked against them on this one because oh crap. Now, where's Noel? We can see Noel's not with. We confirm Noel wasn't on the flight. There was no passport photo for Noel. There was no passport for him either. Where is he? And now the whole family's fled. Now they're all in India. Oh, that's difficult, hey? Luna Thomas said, I never get to watch anymore due to my job. So glad catching something new. Thank you so much, Luna, for being a member for 44 months. This, Beth Harrison said, is this in Fort Worth? It's what is the town called? Everman, Texas, but they went to the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, right? Anyway, so they literally, I can only imagine the people at the airport being like, damn, that's a big family, hey? Look at all these people traveling, all the kids, all the screaming kids on a flight. Oh, man. Okay, so Arshdeep worked for a company that owned several convenience stores, and his role involved delivering products, and he had legitimate access to the company's safe as part of his normal duties. He fraudulently altered the company's cash deposit records to conceal the missing money and avoid immediate detection. He then removed over $10,000 in cash from the safe, which, by the way, the company only realized after police told them, we found a very suspicious deposit into his account. And they're like, really? And they looked into it and they're like, oh crap, he stole $10,000 from us. Just a Grizzly Susie said, I just had to add Grizzly in my name. Thank you so much for your sticker. Okay, so he stole $10K. He went to a nearby bank and deposited $8,000 of the stolen cash into his own personal bank account. What? Bro, where's the other $2,000? What you did with that? Is that the cash for like, I don't know what. Where's the other two, bro? What you bought there, huh? Anyway, bank surveillance footage captured him making the large cash deposit, and financial records and the altered deposit documents linked the theft directly to him. So let me show you this clip here.
Rodriguez-Singh's coworker told me he was a good guy, well-mannered, well-educated, said there wasn't a single sign something was wrong until one day Arshdeep didn't show up to work and then showed up on the news.
Look at the camera, Noel.
Investigators still don't know where Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez is, but Tuesday revealed they now know where his stepfather was hours before fleeing the country.
Through data analysis, investigators learned that Arshdeep had paid a visit to one of his places of employment.
Chief Craig Spencer said Arshdeep-Singh stopped here at the Azel Food Mart where he worked March 22nd, stole $10,000, cooked the books, drove to a bank, deposited most of the stolen cash, then fled to India with his wife and other children.
Cook the books, you guys. I like the way the reporter said it. You don't expect him to say that, right? Cook the books, and off he scurried with $10K. So really, dude, really, you're gonna help this? Now he's still at large in India, by the way. We'll get to that, but like, this one is the one they've caught so far. Cindy and husband Arshdeep, stepfather of Noel. Can you imagine? Cooked the books, stole $10K and off he ran.
This money was stolen mere hours before they even left the country.
The chief announced Arshdeep paid for the family plane tickets on his credit card, acknowledged he now believes Noel disappeared the last week of October, admitted his team recovered items of interest during this weekend's search, but said he hasn't yet confirmed whether they're actually related to Noel's case.
Each and every single day, we get closer and closer to the answers that we all seek.
In the 32 days since Noel's Amber Alert was issued, Chief Spencer said his guys have done thousands of hours of investigating, searched 500 acres of land, followed more than 70 leads, issued more than 24 search warrants, arrest warrants, and subpoenas.
We still have some more data to evaluate. We've still got some more opportunities ahead of us.
Each new place, every new picture, Chief Spencer said, will hopefully help bring this little boy's body home.
Shame. Just look at him. He was 6 years old. Nate Dog said, how old was he? 6. Only 6 years old. Man. Yeah, you guys are mentioning, I know. When we saw Azel, couldn't help thinking of Tanner Horner. Hey. That's where Tanner Horner grew up, in Azel. Loretta Jean said Azel is very close to where Athena lived. Which, quick side note, I don't actually normally like to talk about other cases when I'm focused on one. But everybody's sending me the memorial that was made for Athena at that Bobo's Crossing. It's so beautiful. Go look it up. Just go Athena Strand Memorial. You'll see it, right? Her mom posted it as well. Okay, so let me just see what else I've got lined up here. This is search resumes. Wait, when was this? Oh, no. We're going to get to that. Okay, back to our timeline. This guy. I mean, he stole the money and they left that same day. Wow. Okay. March of 2023. Cantario Rodriguez, Cindy's brother, tells police that Cindy told her mother that she sold Noel to a woman at a fiesta market. Police later confirmed this did not happen. And when Cindy's apparently asked, why don't you just contact the person that you sold Noel to because the police are on your ass, you know what I mean? She's like, no way, then CPS is going to come after me. And I'm like, ma'am. I think the whole selling your son narrative you got going on is not doing anything for you. Can you imagine? That's what she came up with. That's the story she came up with. Oh no, I sold him. Well, damn, if somebody makes up a story like that, you must know it's 10 times worse than that, what actually happened, right? Okay, so shortly before the family fled the country, Cindy had paid $5,000. I wonder if the two, because remember, RSD deposited 8 into their account, probably so they don't arrive at the airport flashing cash and flagging, the airport security of like, what are these people trying to do? I think he deposited to his account so they could buy the tickets on the credit card or whatever. But there was $2,000 left. Maybe that went towards the patio because shortly before the family fled the country, Cindy had paid, apparently this was a month before they fled. So that would have been like February of 2023. Remember that Noel was last seen October of 2022, right? She paid $5,000 to have a contractor install a concrete patio and wanted one side thicker than the other. What a dumbass. Are we going to see that contractor testify at the trial or what? Like, I would like right here where apparently their shed used to be, okay? They moved that, and then I would like a patio here. One side thicker than the other, super thick, all right? That's the instruction. And like a month later, they flee. But they don't have money. They live rent-free. But you're going to put all this money into this patio. Oh, yeah, like that's not a red flag. It's almost like, look at me. Everybody, look here. Now, what's sad is they did look there. And they didn't find Noel at first. But they did later. There. Okay, so cadaver dogs would later alert to this area. Look at that. They would. So they knew, wow, the human remains have been here. But they unfortunately didn't find Noel at the time. So March 25th of 2023, an Amber Alert was issued for Noel. Cindy was named a suspect in his disappearance. Police tell people to look for a Chevy Silverado with a mural of Santa Muerte across the back windshield. The car is quickly located at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport because it's also like, let me have a huge identifiable sticker, on the back windshield. Oh my. Could she point at herself anymore? Damn. The next day, the Amber Alert was actually cancelled, or they said discontinued, and it turned into an endangered missing person alert. Okay, so. My word. Santa Muerte, for those who wonder, is depicted as a female Grim Reaper. Santa Muerte, this is a quote now from my research I did, thank you Uncle Google, is death itself, a powerful spiritual entity who's neither fully a goddess nor a deceased human, but a liminal figure who helps devotees navigate life, death, and the afterlife. Devotees see her as a non-judgmental protector. And I don't know, I didn't actually know much about Santa Muerte, okay? But a female Grim Reaper and then this freaking mother, I don't like the combination, okay? I know sometimes it can be associated with like, I don't know what, cartels or all those words that get thrown around. I have no idea. But the thing is let's put it in context. What did she do with that belief? Oh, she believed in Santa Muerte fully to the point where people are speculating she might have even made a sacrifice to Santa Muerte. Oh my. What? So, Cindy Rodriguez had multiple shrines, statues, and images of Santa Muerte in the family shed and on her vehicle. Police noted this as significant, viewing it as part of her belief system. Now, at the time, remember, we saw a little snippet of the press conference where they said, in a search of the house, they recovered items that they're analyzing. They think it could be significant. I think it's all of this. They weren't sure yet. Does this tie into it? What is it? I don't know. There were a couple of items that they found, but they didn't find Noel yet, right? Okay. Also, like her wing liner, man, I can't help but just snark at it. Lady, it's got to go upwards, okay? You make your eyes look down like this. That's the wrong way. Side snark. It's just not, less of that. Okay, moving on. In April of 2023, police partially and then fully dug up the patio during searches, but at that time they didn't find the remains. So they didn't dig that deep. Apparently they partially dug it up and then they stopped. I think they only had a search warrant to go so far, from what I'm understanding. I don't know. April 6th of 2023, Everman police declared the case a death investigation, which was very sad. And Patricia, let me just see if I could find it. Patricia, the foster mom, reacted to that news of like, man, they're saying he's no longer alive. Like what? Wooded areas near the home are searched, and people will ask, did Texas EquiSearch get involved? Yes, they did. Texas EquiSearch got involved as well. There were community searches, there were vigils, there were volunteers, drones, dogs, searches everywhere. Everyone was looking for Noel. This was a big case along the way. I just missed it. Sorry about that. Okay. So April 10th of 2023, concrete patio is dug up and the vigil was held for Noel, and police revealed that Archdeep disposed of a large carpet before fleeing the country. See, why is he not charged with more? We'll get to that. What is he charged with? But like, he disposed of a carpet. He knows things, okay? They believe human remains were on the carpet at one time. I'm not clear now. I'm not sure. Did they recover the carpet or not? I think they said a witness saw him throwing away a carpet. So, wait, let me just see what's on the next slide before I go to this clip here. Where we're at. Okay, we're still going there. So let me show you this quickly, where Patricia reacted. And this is where they launched a playground already in 2023. This was 2 years ago, November 2023. They named a playground in honor of Noel. The community, everybody in the community was so worried, of course, about Noel. Where's this little boy? And then everybody knew, oh crap, his mother and stepfather and the 6 kids fled, right? So
Every time I come to Everman, I don't come in this area because it makes me so sad.
Patricia Paris still struggles with the thought that 6-year-old Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez is gone. But Monday, some of her grief turned into hope.
Just to know that he may not be able to enjoy the park, but other kids will. It means a lot.
The city of Everman officially welcomed everyone to the Noel Angel Alvarez Playground.
The project actually started a little over a year ago. We wanted to expand on our park and make it more inclusive for the children within our community. In March, obviously, the tragic story of Noel started to unfold, and as the investigation continued, we learned about his special challenges that he had faced. So the mayor actually proposed the idea of naming this park after him and in honor of him.
In October, a Tarrant County grand jury...
Hey, lady, we want to get to that. Just hold on, okay? Hold your horses, lady. We're not there yet chronologically. Shorty Pie said, yes, he threw the carpet in the dumpster at the convenience store where he worked at. Like, what a dumbass. But did they recover that carpet? That's what I want to know. Did they? Let me know if you know. Okay.
And is believed to be dead.
When they told me that they're for sure that he's not living, it did something to me. It's like, I don't know what it is to lose a child, biological, but I can tell you with any child that I foster, this one hit more home because he wasn't able to defend himself.
The park was funded by Tarrant County. It was an expansion of an existing park for children of all ages and now for those who have disabilities.
Just giving every kid an opportunity to come out here and play. And that's important for us. Not only is it making our park more inclusive, but it's honoring a very special young boy.
Turning something Noel loved to do into a place of fun for others in the neighborhood.
He was a very vibrant young man. He loved to play. He loved to have fun.
In Everman, Alexis Wainwright, CBS News, Texas.
Okay, so shame. What a lovely park, right? And now it's named Noel Angel Rodriguez-Alvarez Park. In fact, wait, Noel Playground. Honors Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez Playground. Yeah, but they said Angel. They called him Angel. Also because his mother, people found out his mother was calling him a demon left and right, which is just so disgusting. Okay, so April 18th of 2023, police say that Cindy worshipped Santa Muerte and told others that Noel was possessed, evil, a demon, and that she thought that he would hurt her newborn twins. October of 2023, Tarrant County, we were just there as well. for the Athena Strand case, right? Tarrant County grand jury indicted Cindy on capital murder for a child under 10, injury to a child, 2 counts, and abandoning a child. November of 2023, federal arrest warrant was issued for unlawful flight. And July of 2025, Cindy was added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list. Damn, and there was eventually a $250,000 reward. Whoa, so this little flyer, let's see what it says, right? I typed it out for us so we could read what it said on the flyer. It said, Cindy Rodriguez-Singh is wanted for allegedly killing her 6-year-old son. So see, they already started saying that back then, right? Okay. And so on March 20th of 2023, the Everman Police Department was asked by the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services to conduct a welfare check on the 6-year-old son of Cindy Rodriguez-Singh, after the child had not been seen since October of 2022. During the welfare check, Rodriguez-Singh later told investigators that the child was in Mexico with his biological father, who has been there since November of 2022. On March 22nd, okay, so who's been there? I don't know. If that's what it says, then he wasn't there. Wait. That the child was in Mexico with his father, who's been there since. I don't know. The stories apparently he was deported before Noel was even born, so I don't know. It's lies anyway. That's what Cindy told the police, right? On March 22nd of 2023, Rodriguez-Singh, her husband, and 6 other juvenile children boarded an international flight to India. Investigators confirmed that the missing child was not present and never boarded that flight. It is believed that Rodriguez-Singh has not returned to the United States since boarding that flight. Did they buy a one-way ticket? Did they pull a Donna Adelson, right? So, on October 31st of 2023, Cindy Rodriguez-Singh was charged with capital murder in the District Court of Tarrant County, Fort Worth, Texas. On November 2nd of 2023, a federal arrest warrant was issued for Rodriguez-Singh in the United States District Court. It's interesting to see they had this federal arrest warrant, you know, this FBI 10 most wanted fugitives for her, but not for him. They specifically focused on her. Interesting, right? So I wish they focused on both. That's what I feel like. But okay, so arrest warrant was issued for Rodriguez-Singh in the United States District Court, Northern District of Texas, Dallas, and Texas after she was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Rodriguez-Singh has ties and may visit India and Mexico. She should be considered a flight risk. And then there's the tip lines, right? So the tip lines are still active. If you know anything, you can still see something, say something, know something, all of that. The tip lines are in the description box. Between 2024 and August of 2025, Cindy remained a fugitive in India. Okay. Did she think she was in the clear? Because they were looking for her. The US and India were working together, you know, talking Interpol and like, keep a lookout for that one. So, August 20th of 2025, Cindy's arrested in New Delhi, India. People say it differently, right? Different parts of the world. New Delhi is, I think, how you say it locally, right? She's extradited immediately to Texas. That was amazing. I had to triple check. They're like, really? Like almost the next day, like just about the next day. So we're not talking about waiting months and months and months. Like India was like, here, have her. Damn. I suppose because it took quite a while to find her and everything, but they didn't. I mean, it's also Texas, you know? India wasn't like, are you sure you're not going to sentence her to death? Like, I don't know. Like they would just like, take her. We don't claim her. Okay, so she was extradited almost immediately to Texas, booked into the Tarrant County Jail on a $10 million bond. Can other places please do that? What is that jackass's name? I can't remember his name. Wait. Gilly. I just remember his last name was Gilly, right? We just covered him recently. The husband accused of his pregnant wife's murder who fled to Italy, and now that extradition, Lee Gilly, there you go. That extradition process could take a while. We shall see. We've got to keep an eye on that one here. If you see news, let me know. Viv Photographer said, good for India. They don't play around. They were like, next day, off you go. Get your ass back to the United States. All right, and Texas is like, yeah, welcome back, huh? Straight to jail. Why is it a $10 million bond? Hello, no bond. How about no bond? Grizzly Cat says, Lee Gilly, thank you so much, Grizzly Cat. Okay, so I got it right, legally. All right, so March 26th of 2026, there was a court-ordered psychiatric evaluation. And in April of 2026, Cindy is ruled incompetent to stand trial. and she is ordered to a state mental health facility for competency restoration. All right, so that will take time, right? There's a picture of her in her yellow jail outfit. Cindy's been ordered to a maximum security state mental hospital for competency restoration treatment, medication therapy, education on court processes. The initial period is up to 120 days, which is extendable. She's currently waiting for a bed to become available. This can take weeks. Tarrant County DA Phil Sorrells is confident she will regain competency in the foreseeable future and will stand trial on the capital murder charge. Now, you guys are like, and the children, where are the kids? That's what my mind was like, where were the kids? Apparently, they also found the kids with her. Now, Arshdeep is nowhere to be found. They don't know where he is, okay? He's originally from India, so he's hiding somewhere there, probably with, I don't know, family members or whatever. Do the right thing, family. If you see this, you got to call it in, you know what I mean? Anyway, so they haven't found him, but they did locate her, and they did locate the kids, the 6 kids she took with her. And the kids have apparently been flown back to the USA. Shame, the poor kids. That's a lot. That's a lot they got to deal with, hey? Anyway, so, and the kids range between the age, I think the oldest is like 11. And then the newborn twins. So from newborn to 11. Somewhere between there, right? And then there's the 3 older children that live with her mother. Because she got 10 kids, right? Oh, my word. Okay, so Tarrant County DA Phil Sorrells is confident that she will regain competency in the foreseeable future and will stand trial on the capital murder charge. Ooh, good luck with that. So, Granny Debbie said, is he the father of all 6 kids? No, I think only of the twins. I think only of the newborn twins, from what I'm understanding. Anyway, so May 12th to 14th. Now here we present time. Today's May 18th of 2026. May 12th to 14th of 2026. Everman Police, the FBI, the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office, and the DA's office conduct a major excavation at the former family home on Wisteria Drive, which is of course Charles Parsons' home, right? And so they conduct a major excavation, and let me show you some of that as well.
FBI agents dug up several spots in the yard in the home where Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez had lived. He is presumed to be dead, but his body has not yet been found. His fugitive mother brought back from India last year on capital murder charges. Fox 4's Amelia Jones live at the scene in Everman. Amelia.
Heather, Steve, we've been able to inch a little closer to the home, but the main investigation is happening in the backyard, as you mentioned, and authorities still have a portion of Wisteria Drive blocked off. We do have confirmed, though, that the FBI, the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office, Everman Police, and the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office are here at the scene. We do know this search is connected to the case of Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez. The 6-year-old was last seen alive in 2022, and police were made aware of his disappearance in 2023. Police say this search is just part of the investigative process, as the boy's body still has not been found. The Everman police chief said there were no new leads or tips that led to this search, but we know this is a very thorough operation that's underway. Sky 4 shows multiple tents set up in the backyard and FBI agents sifting through multiple piles of dirt that are on the property. It seems to be very methodical. This is the same property on Wisteria Drive that authorities previously searched since 6-year-old Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez lived in this shed behind the home with his mother, stepfather, and 6 of his 9 siblings. His mom, Cindy Rodriguez-Singh, was captured last year in India and faces capital murder charges. The family fled the country as questions began to surface about her son's disappearance. She was recently...
I mean, like, damn, she already had the passports prepared. The minute there was a welfare check, they're like, that's it, steal some money, let's go. Wow.
Ruled incompetent to stand trial and sent to a state hospital. The Everman police chief spoke about an hour ago about their goal in this new search effort.
You guys are all saying twins were born before they fled. I think it's because I'm saying newborn the whole time, right? I'm imagining like at the time when Noel was last seen. Sorry about that. They were born in October of 2022, right? So by now, that's how long this investigation has taken. They put so much in. It's now obviously 2026, so they're not newborn anymore. But I think they are Arshdeep's kids, right? Okay.
Not a lot of new information, nothing we can share at this point. It's just the continuation of the ongoing investigation to try to seek justice for Noel. That's what this has been about since day one, and it continues today.
So then I think earlier I also said something about the age range of the kids. It must be then between like 4, because I just read somewhere earlier, right? I think it's between 4 and 11-ish, something like that.
The Everman police chief did take questions from reporters, but he was not able to answer a lot of them. As he said, it's very important to keep the integrity in this case and the integrity in the search efforts that are underway. Now, it does seem that
we know, man,
and investigators are packing up their things as we were able to get closer to the home, but Everman police say they will likely be back tomorrow morning to pick up the search.
And they did find what they needed to find. Shame, they found Noel's remains. So, May 12th to 14th, there was the search. Human remains were discovered in the backyard during the search. And on May 15th of 2026, 3 days ago, dental records positively identified the remains as Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez. The Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office continues to determine the cause and manner of death. Man. So, the remains were discovered in the area where the family's converted shed once stood, allegedly. This is the same spot where Cindy Rodriguez-Singh had a large concrete patio poured in early March of 2023, right before the family fled to India. Investigators believe the shed where Noel lived with his mother, stepfather, and siblings was removed, and the patio was installed over or very near the burial site. In April of 2023, police partially dug up the new patio after cadaver dogs lurched there, but nothing was found at that time. In May of 2026, during a more extensive search or a more extensive excavation with heavy equipment and multiple agencies, crews focused on a specific hole or area in the backyard, and this is where the human remains were ultimately recovered after several days of digging. There's a booking photo for you, mugshot time. Arshdeep is still at large in India. He's been charged with felony theft for the $10,000 stolen from his employer right before fleeing, and child endangerment, endangering a child, felony warrants, and could face additional charges. Law enforcement is still actively looking for him. The 6 children were located when they found Cindy, and they've been flown back to the USA. The tip lines are available if you spot him, likely in India, right? Or wherever. You could still see something and say something. As we discussed earlier, a park was opened in Noel's honor called Noel Angel Alvarez Playground. The location is at Clyde Pittman Park along North Race Street in Everman, Texas, and it was specifically designed for children with disabilities. Okay, so now I want to show you just a few more things. So let's quickly see what the district attorney said here.
We just received word from the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office that the remains discovered at the home on Wisteria Drive in Everman were those of Noel. The Medical Examiner's Office used dental records to confirm his identity. Here at the District Attorney's Office, we will continue to seek justice for Noel. We owe that to him and to the citizens of Tarrant County.
That was, that was the DA. I muted myself. Irene said on his shirt, on his t-shirt, "My future is bright." Shame. I'm not going to show you, I'll link this whole interview for you. It's a bit long. I don't want to make this too long. I want replay watchers to watch this so that they can follow the case with us. So this is the guy who owns the property that was so kind to Cindy, where they could then live on his property, right?
Plus years.
Okay, so they were here doing obviously the search. They had to tear up the patio. They didn't find anything, but you were telling me just kind of a different story from what police have told us. So what's going on here?
How I met her is I met her at a grocery store one time. I was thumping some melons, and she come up and so we got to be talking, and then I told her, you know, we got to find out that I'd gone through a pretty bad relationship with somebody for like 11 years. She was a dopehead, and she took me for everything. So she had volunteered that if I needed somebody to come over and cook every now and then, she would. So we did that. So one day she came out and parked the car in front of my house, and it was cold, and she asked me could she sleep right there in front of the house. I said, "What do you mean?" Her husband or whatever, the guy that got deported to Mexico, had left her with no rent money, no food, no nothing, no diapers. And so I told her, "Look, I got 2 extra rooms. Y'all are willing to come in if y'all want to come in and stay there." I said, "I'm not going to charge you rent." So then later on, she ended up meeting her husband to be at one of them little stores down the street, and they ended up getting married because CPS had come out here when they had taken her kids originally, because she did have a DWI and she did have a drinking problem when she was here. I quit drinking altogether because of her DWI. And anyway, she had been clean for like 2 or 3 years because she had on a breathalyzer, so she has to do that. But she was on probation, like 8 to 10 years if she broke it. That's why she fled, because when they came again, they couldn't find Noel. And she supposedly told him where she took him. I don't know where she took him, have no idea. The story I'd got that she had taken him to the father didn't want him, but the sister did. And so she left him with the sister. Now, I can't verify that because I don't know none of it to be a fact.
Shame. Doesn't he just seem so sweet? He seems sweet and kind, right? Roro Froyo said, what a sweet man. That kindness could have gone a long way to so many people. Spin Star said he offered his home. What a soul. I know, right? I will link this entire interview for you to check out. I just want to show you a few more things. This is a clip from when, after Cindy was now extradited, she's in the Tarrant County Jail. She wants to speak to the media. She's been writing a whole bunch of letters to the judge as well. So, and right now she's been found not mentally competent to proceed to trial at this point, right? Which the DA said he feels confident they will. But just look at this. She asked for the media, like, can I talk to you? So they go there, they set up all the cameras and everything, and then she's like, wait, what? She didn't expect all of this? So, like, what's happening, and where's her lawyer? Look at this.
They're going to bring a microphone around so we can hear you.
My attorney should be present.
Wait, what just happened? She's asking for her attorney to be present. Wait, have you spoken to your attorney?
I spoke to her today before all this.
Okay, because we weren't told of that.
Do you want me to give you his number where you can call him right quick?
So I understand correctly, do you want to speak to us if we can't get a hold of him?
But I want to go with him.
Okay.
I need him present.
So you need him here physically in the room. You're saying you need your attorney physically with you here before you're willing to do the interview.
Incompetent my ass. Look at her go. She's like, wait, what? Like, she can fully read the room here. Like, I don't know. Where's my attorney? I don't want to talk to you without him.
Let me see.
Okay. She's going to work on something, and I'm going to attempt to call your attorney. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
This was the first time that we have ever seen Cindy Rodriguez-Singh in person. There she is, just 10 feet away, apparently ready to talk, inviting us to the jail, but then immediately saying she wants her attorney with her.
This is Bob. Leave me a message.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, Bob, this is Doug Dunbar with CBS News Texas. We're trying to get a hold of you, as well as the folks at the Tarrant County Jail and the Sheriff's Department. Cindy Singh has told us that she would like to speak with us, and as we were gathering, she had said that she wanted you in the room, and everybody...
We know that the attorney will be like, hell no, lose my number, bro. She's not talking to you.
Everybody is trying to get a hold of you, including us, to honor that request. So now it's suddenly unclear if she's going to talk if her attorney's not physically here.
Of course not.
That's the sense I got.
We spent about 45 minutes working the phones, waiting to hear what this mother, charged with the murder of her own son, wanted to share with us. Would she defend herself? Would she admit anything? We may never know, because less than an hour after we saw Cindy Rodriguez-Singh for the first time through that thick visitation glass, a phone call came from her lawyer.
I'm not going to authorize you to talk to her.
Okay, and we will honor that.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I am not going to authorize you to talk to her. Listen, Cindy, get your ass back in that cell. You stop talking to the media. Lily Wayne said, sounds like David Scott's story. Arrive for an interview and the person won't talk after all. I know, right? It also reminded me of that. I was like, oh, man. See, Leanne says, incompetent my ass. She wasn't incompetent, though, when she booked the flight to India. She was a sick-minded individual. She is playing games, huh? Playing games, huh? Okay, now I've got one more thing to show you, which is, of course, the press conference. But before I do that, I want to quickly show you the documents that Grizzly Cat got for us. Hold on one second. This one is a better sizing. Vielen Dank, Grizzly Cat. Das ist schön. I really appreciate it. All right, so this is in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas, Fort Worth Division, United States of America versus Cindy Rodriguez-Singh and Debrief criminal complaint. And so it says, on or about March 22nd of 2023, in the Fort Worth Division of the Northern District of Texas and elsewhere, defendants Cindy Rodriguez-Singh and Debrief traveled in interstate and foreign commerce with the intent to avoid prosecution or custody for a crime, which is a felony under the laws of Texas, and from which the fugitive did flee. Introduction and agent background. Talking about, they qualify. You could pause to read if you want. And if you buy Grizzly Cat a coffee, normally she posts it on her Buy Me a Coffee as well. So there we go. All right. So, they qualify it, and so the current assignment, and they show probable cause. That's what we want. Probable cause. Tell us that. On March 20th of 2023, Everman Police Department officers were dispatched to conduct a welfare check on behalf of a minor male, hereafter referred to as NA, at the request of the Department of Family and Protective Services. NA was under the care and custody. I wouldn't say care, but Grizzly Cat says gern geschehen. Ah, vielen Dank. Again. Okay, I'm learning German, you guys. I'm learning German. All right. So it says the care. Care. Okay. In custody of his mother, Cindy Rodriguez-Singh, hereinafter to as Rodriguez-Singh. During the interview, Rodriguez-Singh informed officers that NA was living with his biological father in Mexico and has been there since November of 2022. So this makes more sense in the document. So the father was deported before Noel was even born, but she said that Noel went to live with the biological father from November of 2022. Meanwhile, he was last seen October of 2022 when her twins were born, right? On March 22nd of 2023, Rodriguez-Singh, her husband Debrief, hereinafter referred to as Singh, and 6 juvenile children flew from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport to Indira Gandhi International Airport in Delhi, India. Flight manifest and passport application queries yielded no results for NA. All airline tickets were purchased within 24 hours of flight departure. Additionally, DFPS learned that Rodriguez-Singh had unenrolled NA's siblings from school. Ooh, that extra detail. That's actually a good one. I should have asked myself that. Wait, what happened to the school? There it is, okay, as part of my presentation, but here we are. DFPS learned that Rodriguez-Singh had unenrolled NA's siblings from school on March 22nd of 2023. And apparently he had never been to school, right? Texas Department of Public Safety, DPS, Texas Rangers. Ooh, we like them, hey? Remember the Rangers, Espinoza? The brothers? Texas Ranger Espinoza from the Athena Strand case. Obtained Singh's bank account records. According to the records, on March 22nd of 2023 at approximately 5:01 p.m. Central Standard Time, Singh made a cash deposit of $8,000 into a Chase bank account. The deposit was made approximately 2 hours prior to Singh's arrival at the DFW airport. Singh's employer informed law enforcement that based on their daily financial report information, on March 22nd of 2023, Singh made an unauthorized payout listed to Arsh in the amount of $10,000. On March 23rd of 2023, CPS contacted NA's biological father in Mexico. NA's father denied acquiring custody of NA, stating he was deported from the United States to Mexico before NA was born and that he'd never seen NA in person. Following additional investigative steps conducted by EPD and with the assistance of other state and federal law enforcement agencies, on March 31st of 2023, State of Texas, Tarrant County arrest warrants were issued for Rodriguez-Singh and Singh for violations of Texas Penal Code 22041B, abandonment and endangerment of a child. Warrant numbers, you could see them there. Additionally, on or about October 31st of 2023, a State of Texas Tarrant County arrest warrant was issued for Rodriguez-Singh for a violation of Penal Code, capital murder of a person under 10 years old. Apparently, there were witnesses that had seen her abuse Noel in the past, apparently she had like a lanyard of sorts or something with keys at the end of it. Because I'm very visual, so when I listen to how people describe this in all the press conferences, like she was hitting him with the key side. And didn't want anyone to give him water because she didn't want to deal with his diapers and things like that. So there was long-standing abuse, unfortunately, in this case, right? Cricket Pie said, "Hi, Grizzly and all from SC. Is that South Carolina?" He said, "Sorry I missed the start, but we've been outside planting, pruning, feeding the birds, cleaning the pool. Another story that breaks my heart." Thank you so much for your sticker, and that sounds like a great day. Productive. Ellie Shore said, "Thank God there are criminals out there that are plainly stupid." Not incompetent, just stupid. Thank you for being a member for 7 months. So this is based upon the aforementioned facts. I have probable cause to believe that Cindy Rodriguez-Singh and Arshdeep-Singh have committed the offense of flight to avoid prosecution in violation of that code, right? Okay, so now you could also see she's written a whole bunch of crazy-ass letters to the judge. We can go over that at some point. Let's not do that now. Let's go to this press conference, which I think, did I boost it yet? Let's go here. This is the last thing we'll do today, and then we can look at this case another time again, right? We can continue the conversation. Okay, let's have a look at this press conference, which was from May 14th, which was just 4 days ago. Here we go.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Craig Spencer, and I have the pleasure of serving as the city manager. We're here today to give you guys an update on the case involving Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez. Today you're going to be hearing from our Chief of Police, Al Brooks, the Tarrant County District Attorney, Mr. Phil Sorrells, FBI Dallas Special Agent in Charge, Mr. R. Joseph Rothrock, and then we'll follow up with any questions. The questions will be limited because, keep in mind, this is an ongoing criminal investigation. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our Chief of Police, Mr. Al Brooks.
Good morning. Today I want to begin by acknowledging the weight of this moment for our community, for those who have followed this case since its beginning, and most importantly, for the memory of little Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez. During a lawfully authorized search operation at the former residence of Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez, human remains were discovered. Those remains are now in the custody of the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office, who is doing a complete forensics examination and working toward an official identification. I do want to be clear, no official identification has been made as of yet. We will not get ahead of that process. Okay. What we do want to address is what you're seeing today is the result of a years-long investigation where very diligent investigators refused to give up on Noel. I am profoundly grateful to the assistance that we have received from the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office and the FBI. Their partnership in this has been invaluable. This is what justice-based, focused partnership looks like, to bring justice to those who deserve it. This time I'd like to turn this over to Tarrant County District Attorney, Mr. Phil Sorrells.
Good morning. Today marks an important step towards the pursuit of justice for Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez. I want to express my deep gratitude to the FBI for their unwavering commitment in helping us in achieving this goal. They have been tireless. Every time that we call them, they're eager to help. They financially committed to helping us in making sure that we get the justice for Noel. Their efforts were instrumental in getting Cindy Rodriguez back from India in just less than a year ago. We wouldn't have been able to do this excavation this week without their resources. Every step along the way that we've asked them for help, they help. And that's what you see, cooperation, that's what you can get out of cooperation, is results. This progress resulted as a coordinated effort from my office, the FBI, the Sheriff's Department, the Tarrant County Medical Examiner, Everman Police, Each agency has played a vital role in bringing us to this moment.
I mean, I'm glad Texas Equisearch, the FBI, and everybody was involved because, as I said earlier, it was an uphill battle, hey? Damn, when they found out, wait. So, first we need to find Noel. Like, where is he? But then the parents fled? Sure, that's a lot. Sorry, I've got a cat hair on my nose, I think. 20 kisses for Willow, hey. All the kids here. Sorry about that. Okay, so this press conference, it's only 12 minutes or so long, so it's not a long one. Let's watch this together. It's the most recent one.
Our focus remains on the successful prosecution of Cindy Rodriguez. We owe it to Noel. We owe it to our community to seek justice in this case. And we are determined to do just that. Noel was a child whose life mattered. We will not forget him, and we will not stop working for justice for him.
Good morning. I'm Joe Rothrock, Special Agent in charge of the Dallas FBI. Since we became involved in this investigation, we have worked jointly with our partners at the Everman Police Department, the Texas Rangers, the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Texas, with a single goal in mind: finding justice for Noel Alvarez, who hasn't been seen since October of 2022. This partnership ensured the return of Cindy Rodriguez-Singh to the United States in August of 2025, and as the Chief announced today, it has led to the discovery of human remains. I want to thank all the men and women across law enforcement who worked this investigation for their continued dedication to finding that justice for Noel. We remain committed to our partnership with the Everman Police Department and the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office to honor the memory of Noel and to bring much-needed closure to the Everman community. Thank you.
I just want to extend our personal gratitude to the Tarrant County DA's office, all the investigators that have been working on this case, their tenacity. I shared previously when we were doing this investigation that we would commonly go back and review many things, and the DA's office has shared that. We're eternally grateful for them. We're also eternally grateful to the FBI for the amount of resources that they've dedicated to support this, and there's not enough words to really show you my appreciation and what you've done for us, so thank you. Again, we're going to be limited on the types of questions we can answer. If you would, I'd prefer if you raise your hand instead of shouting, because we have a lot of people here, so we'll start calling on you.
What exactly led to the excavation? Was it a tip? Did Cindy say something now that she is in custody? You need a little bit more.
Sure. No, I understand. I understand what your question is. I want to comment that our biggest priority right now is justice, and we.
So they're asking, why did they go back there, and what tip did they receive, and did Cindy say something, all of that, right? Somebody asked, is that a death penalty case? I think she can face the death penalty. I don't think that... Does India have a death penalty? Hold on, I'll do some research quickly. But they didn't say, oh no, like we can't extradite her. India immediately just handed her back to the USA. You take her, go for it. So I think they could seek the death penalty, you know? But they haven't indicated yet if they will.
We have to be very careful about the comments that we put out and what we say that could interfere with that. So we're not going to comment currently on anything that may have led us back there. We're going to leave that to the DA's office and let them do what they do best in prosecuting and seeking justice. Over here? Nope, he's got it. Did you have one?
I do.
Sorry, hold on. Oh, that's why India still has the death penalty. Because many countries outside of the USA, they don't have it, right? We don't have it in Switzerland. We don't have it in South Africa. So I know that oftentimes, like that Lee Gilly jackass that is hiding out in Italy, you know, they don't have the death penalty. So they're very, very concerned to extradite him back to the USA because they have to make sure, isn't that also in Texas? They have to make sure that, let's say, Texas can guarantee them that they won't pursue the death penalty. But in this case, India's like, go for it. take her. Okay. So she could face it. And there are these aggravating factors because she's accused of killing a child, her own son, under the age of 10. You know what I mean? He was only 6.
Been in the backyard before, done excavating, unfortunately, the yard before. Cadaver dogs didn't pick up any sense before that you're aware of. Was there anything that...
Yeah. So I do... So I do want to correct, we did have cadaver dogs that did alert previously on previous reporting. We did have cadaver dogs that alerted back there. I will not comment on the extent of what occurred with this particular search, but what I will tell you is that each and every search was done professionally, methodically, with the resources that we had available at the time. We are thankful, again, to the DA's office and the FBI for what they've been able to bring in to extend that search and get us to the results that we need. But beyond that, we can't comment on any details involving the actual search.
I guess how long you get a timeline when you will find out who these even remains are tied to? Noel or?
Yeah, that confirmation would come from the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office, and we'll defer to them on how, in what manner they want to put that information out. Sure. So we'll leave that to the portion on whether they were a child or not. We would leave that to the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office or the DA's office. As far as where they're located, we're not going to comment on that today because it may affect the integrity of the investigation. So let me get him right here, and then I'll get Chief up. Yep. Sure. Come on up, Chief.
Chief, this has been an investigation years and hasn't for years. And
correct.
A lot of the police have talked about how this has been a very emotional case. About that night, can you talk about what you're feeling right now after this discovery?
Ooh, sorry, sir. Hold on. Pour them on a good pace. David Scott interviews is with us. Texas has the death penalty. Dolly Routier sits on death row. Yes. Yeah. Oh, and I know Texas has the death penalty because, ooh, we just covered the Tanner Horner case, hey? The question at hand at the time was, because she was extradited. Sometimes we see these cases where, you know, which I think I get. I think Lee Gilly is a recent case we covered, and I think, wasn't that also Texas? Now he's sitting in Italy, and they won't give him back until they could promise that the death penalty will not be sought. And remember that Kimberly Sullivan in Colorado, same. That took 2 years to extradite her. My goodness. Because they have to promise, Colorado, you're not going to do that, right? Which I don't think they even have that beyond a certain year. But anyway, they got to make sure. But in this case, India's like, they have the death penalty. Texas has it. Here's a very quick, easy handover within a day.
Pretty much every emotion you can have. No other way. You got to follow up.
So emotional.
You talked about the weight of this woman, and you were talking about the weight WAIG and the weight WEIGHT of this woman.
More the WEI GHT. This case has touched a lot of people worldwide. Yes.
I don't know if it's the FBI or the chief. We need a little bit more if you can, because I know it's horrible, but we need more of a description as to what was pulled out, how far deep, the dimensions, the weight. I mean, was it a cement block? I have no idea.
That's
to us, but I'm
that.
trying to understand how this was messed in the.
Understandable, but that unfortunately is detail that we cannot release right now for the integrity of the investigation.
But we want to know everything, sir. No, I understand. Carrie, you are right. It's Kimberly Singler. Did I say Sullivan? Wait, Kimberly Sullivan is the Waterbury case? Oh, yeah. Oh, my word. I got to check on that one again. Kimberly Singler. That's the one that took, I think it took 2 years to extradite her from the UK back to Colorado.
We'll take two more. That one right here.
Can you answer if during the first time you searched the area, the property, were you guys only allowed to dig, or the dig was done at the time? Or, I don't know, we don't understand the procedures behind forensics or anything like that.
Yeah, sure.
So again, what we'll share is that during the initial search that we did, we conducted a thorough professional search with experts and teams that were here to the extent that we were allowed and able and capable of doing, right? What I'm telling you now is that with the support, the tenacity that we've seen from the DA's office, the joining up in our belief that we should not give up on this case, they've shown that same exact tenacity and have seen this through and have brought in resources beyond what we were capable of doing to be able to succeed in a search that we conducted yesterday. So we'll take one more right over here. Yes, ma'am. I think that would be a better question for.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I didn't hear your question.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask how this influenced the case and changed things going
Well, we believe we found evidence that's going to improve our case. And it remains to be seen if that turns out to be true, because we're still waiting on the medical examiner to tell us exactly what evidence was found.
May I ask about Cindy Rodriguez? What is the likelihood?
They're like a little bit defensive, hey, but listen, we know we searched there before, okay, but we didn't find anything, okay, now, what? Okay, the FBI came along, and what, did you have ground penetrating radar, huh? What you had there? You had more equipment? It's okay. I'm so glad that they found Noel. Whew, they were so close in their searches initially in 2023. They were so close. He was right there. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm so glad that they were able to find him now, because now they could prosecute.
That she will ever face trial?
We're confident. Right now, she's been found incompetent. But she had a psychological evaluation, and the psychiatrist told us, or the psychologist told the court, that currently she is not competent to stand trial. Now, there are two things that are required for you to be competent to stand trial. You've got to understand the charges against you, and you've got to be able to assist in your defense. The report further says that they believe that in the foreseeable future, she will regain competency. So she will stand trial for this.
Yes, she will.
Thank you, sir.
I love that hat.
Are you confident at all that enough remains in the fashion that they were found will help lead y'all to what exactly happened if it is Noel?
You know, that's going to be determined based on what the medical examiner tells us in the coming days. I mean, there's still going to be evidence that gets unraveled as we continue this investigation. The investigation doesn't stop at this point. The DA's office is leading this investigation. They're doing an incredible job. They've got a great team of investigators. The FBI, I believe, isn't going anywhere. I think they're going to continue with this. And so I would say that, it is going to continue to be an evidentiary finding for us as they continue throughout the case.
It'd be great if we could tell you this is Noel. But we haven't heard that from the medical examiner.
But now you have, sir. Now you have. That was great. The day after this press conference, they did confirm that the remains were identified by dental records as Noel Rodriguez-Alvarez. So, wow, what a big break in the case, hey? My goodness. Now I can see why you all sending it to me. I'm like, what is this? What is happening? This press conference, what happened? Wow, what an investigation. What incredible work they did. What teamwork as well between all these departments and everything. And now the wheels of justice are turning a little faster than before, hey? A little faster. One is always worried if there's a missing child and, maybe a parent or two are very suspicious and fleeing the country, those types of things, You just worry, will they ever be found? Because in some cases they're not, right? I'm so, so glad that in this case, Noel was found. And I will continue to follow this case with you. If you'd like me to, of course, leave some comments below. And I will, I'll keep you posted. So next will be, she's, Cindy Rodriguez-Singh is first got to become mentally competent. So they're treating her and all of that. And let's see what happens next. Once that happens, will they then, David Scott interview said, interested to see if they will seek the death penalty. Me too. Let's see, once she becomes competent, which I'm sure she will be, as the district attorney is also confident. Okay, once we get there, what happens next? Will they seek the death penalty? When's the next court hearing? All of that. I will definitely keep you posted. So another case in Texas, hey? Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you for being here. And I will most certainly see you very soon. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe.